Welcome back, everybody. Are you looking for a magical read during your spring break, vacation? Local author Jeanette Horn is joining us to talk about her debut novel. Okay, it's a play on words. Play, comma, with knives. Interesting. Jeanette, good morning.
Good morning.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the inspiration for this book?
Yeah, when I started writing this novel, I really wanted to be able to mix items from every era and culture. So I wanted trebuchets mixing with Babylonian coins, mixing with Victorian lace. And but I didn't want to do that in a way where I had a time traveler or a magician with a wand. So I started thinking about how I could do that, and the idea came to me that I could do it with a troupe of actors because they can travel through time, they can become anyone in any place.
That is a really smart thought. And so if you wouldn't mind, I know you can't give us everything, but if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit more about the storyline.
Sure. It's about a troupe of actors who's touring the small town Midwest on a train. Only the train is kind of a magical dream space. So random elements of the playwright's writings come to life magically, and they start interacting with the plot and wreaking havoc. So there's a lot of, the writing's poetic, but there's a lot of silliness. There's kind of a half-tame fox on the train. There's a bartender who looks like Abraham Lincoln. People drink a lot of Negronis in the bar car, and there's a little bit of a love story too.
Okay. So, interesting. There are so many different elements happening here. I know we could categorize it as fiction. You told me this is your first fiction book. But what if you could give it kind of a subgenre, what would you say?
Magical realism, for sure.
Magical realism. Yes. Okay. You're kind of talking my language. This is the sort of book I like to read. Okay, I like that a lot. And I want to talk actually about your journey as an author, because I'm so pleased to be able to say that we're giving you a little bit of love today because this is your first published novel.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, talk to us about how you got started with writing.
I was just always enamored with books from a really young age. I mean, I remember even before I could read and write, sitting at the table in my little room and making books and gluing things and stapling them together. And then I remember in fourth grade, so I must have been 9 or 10, very formally deciding that I was going to be a writer. And I started writing in a really thick spiral notebook, little chapter stories and little poems and things. And then that carried on through high school and then college. I was really lucky. I went to Westwood High School, and I had a really good English teacher there who was passionate about creative writing, and he started a little literary magazine and a creative writing elective.
Let's shout him out.
And FJ Shack.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still there anymore. It's been a while, but yeah, and so he really instilled that in me even more than I naturally had, and so yeah, it led me to a life of writing.
It's wonderful. But largely you've been focused kind of on poems as you headed into your adult life. So what made you decide to make the switch into, okay, I'm going to put pen to paper here and I'm going to put together a novel?
Well, I've always just been a huge consumer of novels. I certainly read a lot of poetry when I was a poet, but I just love the novel as a form, and I always wanted to try my hand at it. And the time just felt right. I was ready for a new challenge.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. And I love that you're a local gal that we get to like kind of, pump up, because we're excited that you've got this novel. You've actually got an event going on tonight at Book People. So I really want people to hear this in case you don't have plans for your Wednesday evening. This is something to do and a great way to visit with a local author. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, we're going to do a little reading from the book. We'll do a little discussion. I'm going to be there with Lucas Schaefer. He's the author of The Slip, which is coming out this summer. Fantastic novel. And then we're going to do a little Q&A and a signing. So we'd love to have everybody.
Oh, that sounds wonderful to me. And what else can folks look forward to from you? Because I have a feeling that since you've been writing since a young age, that you're probably not going to stop now.
Yeah, this is life now. So I will be starting on my next novel really soon, probably in the next couple months.
Okay, I don't want to push you too far. Can you give us anything to work with, or?
Yeah, sure. It'll be a historical fiction, so an alternate history actually, and it'll be kind of a lot of the same themes. A group of artists, a lot about lies and truth, and the nature of reality, the slippery nature of reality. So I think I might have a little bit of an obsession with those themes.
But they're really good themes, and they make for great reading. And I also think it's so interesting because when you grow up, you always assume that like the narrator is telling the truth. And I think it's been kind of a really interesting turn, or maybe, you know what, I just wasn't paying enough attention, to see in recent years that not always is the narrator the most reliable character that you're hearing from.
That's true. There's a little bit of that in here as well. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm getting really excited. Jeanette, we are so excited for you, and thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. You can meet Jeanette tonight, guys, at 7 p.m. at Book People and buy her latest release. The event is free. You can register online to let them know you're coming at bookpeople.com.